Good evening. I've got pure man flu. I've had pure man flu. I've had it since last Tuesday, since I went to court. So I've been flattened. But I'm after a favour from everybody. I am... As was to be expected, as soon as it was mentioned that I was going to be touring Australia, which I called out and I knew to be expected, the mainstream media would come out completely against me with lies. And everything's gone that way. I've seen it now coming out in their news articles. And as usual, there's a character here. Every country's got one of these people, yeah? Every country's got one. It's someone, this one's name's Dr. Davir Abramovich. Anyway, he is the Anti-Defamation Commission chairman. What? What organisation is that? The Anti-Defamation Commission chairman. He's basically paid shitloads of money, okay? And to counter, I guess, racism, anti-Semitism. Now, there is a lot of genuine anti-Semitism, which builds on the far left with Jeremy Corbyn in Britain, the far left anti-Israeli organisations, and also on the genuine far right, the genuine Nazis, who, if it rains, they blame the Jews. Now, my whole, since day one, since day dot, I've not changed anything for what I've stood for or what I've said. Not a single thing. And that includes my views on Israel and Jews. I've never said one anti-Semitic thing in my life. In fact, I see Jews as a targeted community, but I see where the real anti-Semitism comes from. It comes and it's preached in mosques across this country, across the West, and in Australia, of course. So we have a man called Dr. Davir Abramovich who is calling on the Home Affairs Minister, Peter Dutton, to reject my visa. When you go through the reasons, he doesn't actually give. With regards to Mr. Robinson, he said, it's alarming that a far-right extremist, back that up with some evidence, bruv. Do you know what I mean? You can't just keep printing these things in your national newspapers. A far-right extremist. What part of my views are far-right? Islam is far-right. Islam is supremacist. Islam is extreme. Okay? What part of my views are far-right? And then he calls me a white nationalist. Is he using the colour of my skin in a derogatory term there? I believe he is. I believe that's what he's trying to do. Yes, I am white. Well done, bruv. Well done. If you follow any of my life, you'd realise I don't play identity politics. I don't talk about white, black, brown, yellow. I don't divide people by their colour of their skin. Never have, never will. I don't believe white people are superior to black people. I really just don't believe it. And I think you're an absolute moron if you do. And I don't believe that based on my life, based on my upbringing, based on the fact that many of the best men I know and some of the people I love, my friends, are not white. All right? And many of them have gone on to progress and done far superior, better and more intelligent than many of my white friends. So I don't believe in white supremacy. I think it's all bullshit. Okay? But that won't stop you lying across your Australian newspapers, which is what I'm currently reading. So there's a petition set up. And if you're in Australia, I believe what, you're just getting up? You're just on the way to work now? Well, we're just about to go to bed. Well, I am anyway. And if you can take the time, Australia thinks they've seen scenes when they've had talks and guest speakers there. You ain't seen nothing like the scenes you're going to get if I'm allowed to come to your country and tell you the real score on what's heading your way. And obviously, people don't want that. But luckily, there's many in your country that do want that. Many of your people, many of your media, some of them, who have been contacting me. And And fortunately, some of your politicians as well, who I believe are going to put their name to having me come to your country. So I have a message which, because I can say what I want, okay? I can speak the truth. And because of that, there's many people who may be politicians who agree with what I say, but they don't feel free enough to say it. So for that, they'd probably appreciate someone coming in and laying down to the public in Australia to try and explain just, you have an opportunity to prevent the path our country's gone down. Our leaders have led us down. They've walked us down. I watched an amazing speech earlier in 1995 by a Tory politician. I'm just trying to get my phone up, about the pride our country used to have. It's insane really, because that was wrote in 1995, which was the same year that the Barcelona Declaration was signed, which was a declaration which, I want to do previous videos to educate people on this, what this was. This was in 1995, the European Union, our leaders, done a Barcelona Declaration with Saudi Arabia for oil to import millions of Muslims into Europe. And this year, the European Union have done another one with Africa for oil to import millions of Africans into Europe, to change the face of Europe forever. Not for the better, for the worse. To bring all of those cultural problems, all of those religious problems, to bring them all in to our homes, to where we live, to put your wife, your daughter in more danger, to put your family in more danger for oil. So globalists and these people who are making all these decisions, all of our politicians who have all sold their souls, all of them, who will all leave their careers as politicians and get taken up on hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds for doing nothing, 1 day a week job for some Saudi petrol company or something. That's what's happening. Same with the European Union, all of them. But in Australia, you have an opportunity to try to prevent it, to try to prevent what's happening. So I'm asking, if you have 10 minutes, please just sign the petition. It takes 5 minutes. It will add weight to show that there are a lot of people in your country. I think the ticket sales will show that on their own. But there are a lot of people in your country who want to hear the truth, who want to hear a warning, who want to try and find a way of preventing the problems Europe now faces spreading, because you've already got them there in Australia. You've already got these problems, and I see this big backlash that's going to come about stopping Tommy Robinson come to your country. You have religious scholars and imams entering your country every single week. Those people hold views such as that Muslims are superior to non-Muslims, such as homosexuals should be punished with death, such as supremacist views, violent views, homophobic views, anti-Semitic views. None of them. There's no big backlash like there's going to be to stop Tommy Robinson. They're all just quietly bought from caves in Afghanistan, and they come in, they preach, and they leave. Just like in our country. There's no hoo-ha. There won't be the level of opposition to having Tommy Robinson come. Because Tommy Robinson might state some facts and give some evidence and based on scripture and history. And we can't have that, can we? And other than that, so that's what I wanted to say. I've just followed, it just winds me up. As I read these news articles, it winds me up. I just read, they're calling Gavin McInnes. Now, Gavin's a comedian, for God's sake, right? He might say some offensive things. They might say some offensive things against fat people, against ginger people, he's a comedian, okay? He's a comedian, that's what he does. That's what he does. And he is funny. He's a great character. Every time I spent time with him, I can't wait to tour Australia with Gavin McInnes. But we'll soon see the same sort of pressure, I believe, is being put on America now, because I've had an invite from members of Congress there. We'll see exactly where the free speech issue lands in America in the coming next couple of weeks. What else? What else whilst I'm here? Soldier X. I'm going to be bringing you a video early next week. That's all I'll say at the minute. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes with Soldier X. I've been talking to a lot of people. We put a lawyer in contact with quite a few people in the armed forces who are having disciplinary hearings, etc., etc. Some developments have come throughout that with regards to Soldier X. But I'll just wait until early next week so things are finalised. So when I come out and make my video of the next step of what's happening, I'll keep everyone made aware. I've just took a little bit of not a backseat. I had caught, and And yeah, I had court and I've had loads of things going on. So, Brisbane, if they live in Brisbane, get them to sign that petition, please. I want to come to Australia. I'm desperate to come to Australia. I really got my sights set on it now. I so badly want to come there. So, Adelaide, looking forward to it. And there's a campaign coming out tomorrow. You'll see the video. We're launching a campaign to help a young girl. We started, when I was working with Rebel Media, we wanted to start a campaign where once a month, once every 2 months, we'd go and visit someone who needs our help and our support, and to use the profile, we use the platform we have to try and bring some good to members of the armed forces or ex-members of the armed forces. Now, this brought me into contact with Gareth Knox. You can watch these videos. Go Google him on YouTube. I met Knox. Knox was as a character, yeah, I wish I'd have known him all my life. And I wish that he didn't live so... It's not that far anyway. He lives in Portsmouth. But as a character, he excelled in the Navy. He was a PT in the Navy. He excelled, and everything about his life was about the buzz. This is not him explaining it. This is what I sensed from him. Everything was about being a fighter and fighting his way through life. And then once he left the Navy, he got MS. And I hope I've got that right. My head's blank. And his health deteriorated. And from being a man who has always excelled in fitness and fighting and boxing and everything. When I say this, he made a challenge. You know what he used to tell me when they used to play squash? When you'd hit the ball and then you have to punch one of the other lads in between hitting it. So everything was about a challenge and a physical challenge. A real man. That's what I'd say Knox is, a real man. Yeah. And imagine then you're losing all of your ability and your strength, and then you confined to a wheelchair. And when he went to ask for help, he was told, no, that's all right. You can still sit in the wheelchair. But his life isn't over, and his life's a challenge. He used to go down in his wheelchair, he'd go down to the sea, throw himself in the sea. Can't use his legs and swim. And swim. It's often said, even though he sends me videos now in his wheelchair, and he's boxing, he's fighting. Every morning he's fighting, yeah. But anyway, so we met him and we found out that, a lot of people who have been in the army, they're proud as well. So they don't want to ask for help. And when he finally took the thing to ask once, he got it thrown back in his face. So we went down and interviewed him, and we run a campaign with the British public, like yourselves. People supported it. And we got him a £26,000 state-of-the-art wheelchair that gave him his independence again. That didn't make him feel like a hindrance on people if he was going somewhere, because someone had to push him up hills, or he couldn't go on days out. And he could go down the beach and, give him back all of that. So we're going to be helping another young girl. This campaign's coming out tomorrow. She's a beautiful little girl as well. I don't know. I think, and what we're doing is every single bit of this will be visible. The money raised will be visible. If we excel the money, it will then go on to the next child or the next family we want to help. This little girl, she's one of 8 children. Her father's in the army. I think we had a laugh. I think that's why they've got 8 children, because he must go away on his tours and come back and go nuts. Have a baby every time. But yeah, that's coming out tomorrow. So I just want to give a brief update. Ask you to sign the petition. That's it. Deb's 60 years old in Portsmouth. I was down there the other day meeting this beautiful little princess called Daisy. When you see this video, it's one of them where what I said is, and I sensed it with Knox. I saw it with Knox. Is even if you put in £1, you put in £5, you put in the price of a beer. Yeah. The feeling you'll get when you watch the next video, which would be us bringing this. We're in a fight against time because Christmas is coming up, and we want to get that wheelchair for this young girl for Christmas. When you see it, anyway, all this, I'm just giving a brief what's coming tomorrow. I'll do a live stream tomorrow night once it goes live. And thank you. Sign the petition. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I'm coming. And do you know what? I didn't put the link in here. And on that much, let me stay on here for a sec. Hold on. Because I just have to get up. Our car broke down today, man. I spent about 2 hours standing at the side of the motorway, freezing. How cold is it today? It's the first proper cold day. Let's search this to see where the tickets are. Tommy Robinson. Aussie. Australia tour. Activist, Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson joins Gavin McInnes. Tommy Robinson. The Deplorables tour. The Deplorables, that'll be us. Ah, look. Well, it's with Penthouse. Do you know what I'll do? I'll put a link in the... I'll put a link at the... on the... I know, Tom, but they'll still try and stop me. I haven't seen the link. Share. I will share it. Let me just get it up here. Tom Robinson, Australia. It's with Penthouse. That's who's organising the tour. It's with Penthouse. I'll put the link to buy. I'll put the link to the tickets for anyone who's sitting in Australia. It's in Melbourne. It's in Perth. It's in Sydney. It's in Gold Coast. It's in Adelaide. Come and join me. Let's have some fun. See you later.